100 million leftover women are grieving as most men avoid and reject them. They said we would rather the bear, and now they don't want to go and hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo in the woods. Today's video comes from the China Unvarnished channel. Their channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check them out and support them. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of over 100 million now being rejected by men in society and how this is going to affect women and change society going forward. Don't forget to follow us on Rumble. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video. You never really know what can happen on this platform, so go and follow us over there. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video after a message from Angry's Crypto Academy.
Time flies. I'm already 38 years old, and once the Spring Festival is over, I'll be entering my 39th year. I never thought I would still be single at this age, nor that I would have never gotten married. Occasionally, when I think about these things, my heart feels a little sour, and I even feel some regret. Perhaps I was too arrogant back then, being picky and always thinking I could wait for a better match. Now looking back, opportunities slipped away time and again, leaving behind nothing but endless regret. Maybe if I had hesitated less, worried less, would I be living a stable life today? A warm home, a partner to rely on? What do you think? If I never get married in this lifetime, will I be destined to wander like a lost soul, forever unable to find my own harbor? The moment such a thought crosses my mind, I can't calm down. It makes me feel that my past self was too idealistic, too obsessed with unnecessary persistence. Now, I'm really afraid that I might end up spending my whole life alone.
I
am an older single woman born in 1976. Around me, many people have said that as an older single woman like me gets older, she will feel more and more desolate.
1976, y'all. So these women are now heading into their 50s. They're now heading into their 50s. Gen Xers warned about this. They said a lot of Gen X women played this game. They drank the Kool-Aid, and now they have nothing to show for it. And many of these women will also turn around and try to tell younger women to do exactly what they did and go down the same paths that they went down, because rather than repent for their failures and their mistakes, they would rather drag other women down with them so they can validate their bad decisions.
And may even end up dying alone. These words used to make me feel anxious, and at one point they even made me scared. However, today what I want to ask is, are you not anxious at all? Last week, I went to the hospital to see a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and by chance I met an 81-year-old man. He was slowly walking alone to the hospital. When I asked him why he came by himself, he replied, "My family members have all passed away." At that moment, I thought he was just saying it out of frustration. So I tried to comfort him and said, "At your age, you should have family members accompanying you." He then said, "My spouse passed away, and my son also passed away. Life is bitter." I didn't dare to ask more questions, and a sense of sorrow suddenly overwhelmed me. At that moment, I wasn't just feeling sorry for this old man, but for all those who represent the suffering of aging alone and dying in solitude. I suddenly thought about my own situation being alone now, and I fear that I might also end up like this when I grow old. Perhaps loneliness is inherent to life itself. We cannot avoid aging, illness, and death. These are the fates that humanity cannot escape. Every person's life will face difficulties and cannot resist the arrangements of fate. Human life is impermanent, and no one can predict what will happen tomorrow. The hardships and loneliness of life are already hidden in each of us. Though we may feel lonely at times, it is a normal part of everyone's life. At my age now, it is almost impossible to find another half. No matter how much I regret or how much I resent my previous high standards for men, it no longer matters. Perhaps I have already prepared myself for the possibility of dying alone. Loneliness may be my destiny.
If heaven could give me another chance, I would definitely not wait until my 30s to realize that I am still unmarried and need to find a partner. I would make sure to find the right person in my 20s and get married as soon as possible. If I could marry early, I would do so without hesitation and absolutely not drag it out until I am 32. At my current age, I really find that I no longer want to communicate with the opposite sex. The topics I discuss with men have become repetitive and old, with no freshness or novelty. Moreover, when I interact with the opposite sex, I no longer feel the anticipation I once had.
See, what ended up happening is they were out in the streets for decades. They spent most of their time out in the streets. They were going out there with Chad Tyrone, Ray Ray Pookie, Enrique Miguel, Quan, Pancho, in their case, Hung Low. And now they can't really the average man will never be good enough for them because they're going to compare every man that they meet with the man that came before them, and no man will ever be good enough for them because women cannot go backwards, they can only go forwards. And because they could not settle for a man when they were younger, they could not build something with him. They will always now want more, a better man, a better house, a better lifestyle. Nothing will ever be enough for them. They need the constant dopamine rush. They will always find something wrong with the man. And because they haven't had to work on their personalities or their ability to converse with people, for example, sometimes if you're sitting with someone, and you're feeling anxious, it's okay to say, I feel anxious right now. Why do you feel anxious? I'm in my nerves. And they're like, don't feel that way. Or you convey, like, you basically have to learn how to communicate. Sometimes it's better to just tell a person you don't feel so great, or you're worried that maybe you might just tell them what you think. If you're in a relationship, just tell them outright, like, I'm afraid that maybe you don't like me anymore, and they'll tell you, don't think that, man. I think you're incredible. I really like you. Blah 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 blah. Modern women don't have these communication skills. They don't know how to be vulnerable. They don't know how to be honest. They operate entirely from the ego, and they create nothing but problems and disparities and distress in relationships because they need that constant dopamine hit. They don't realize that they're the reason why relationships are failing. 50% of all marriages between a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman will fail in the United States. When we talk about women who are in relationships with each other, who marry one another in the US, that number goes up to 70 to 80%. While ironically enough, men who marry other men have the lowest rates of divorce at something like only 20 to 30%. So you have a much better chance of your marriage succeeding if you're a man who marries another man versus a man and a woman who marry one another, or especially not if it's a woman who marries another woman. So there's a common denominator: the women. Women are never happy, and you can never make them happy. For a woman, a happiness is a choice. It's not the man's job to make her happy. It's her choice. It's her decision to choose happiness, to choose to be grateful for what she has. If she's in a relationship with someone who she does not want to be in a relationship with, fine. But how much is enough? What are you really trying to do? Or is it the fact that you really don't want to be humble and you do not want to submit? Because once a woman learns how to submit in a relationship, that also brings a lot of peace and unity, uh, transformation, you know, and tranquility within a relationship. But the average woman is within her masculine state because she was not raised to be a feminine; she was raised to be a masculine. So she knows nothing about femininity, and that's just how it is.
I don't feel the same curiosity towards each other as I did when I was younger. Even things that I used to find interesting now seem dull and unremarkable. In my 20s, I was full of curiosity about many things, and new things seemed so fascinating to me. At that time, I hadn't experienced much and had limited knowledge of the world, so everything around me felt fresh and exciting. But now, in my 30s, having gone through more experiences and seen more of the world, many things no longer surprise me. I realize that they are just what they are, and I no longer find them as attractive as I did when I was younger. The hardest part is finding someone with whom I can truly share a common language. After 30-something years of life experiences, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, but everyone's background and perspective are different, and the things we've been exposed to are vastly different as well. As I grow older and time passes, I find it increasingly difficult to find a man who is on the same wavelength.
In other words, guys, they will never be happy. Guys, a man. It doesn't matter if a man is a doctor. This is the strange thing about men. It doesn't matter if a man is a doctor. It doesn't matter if a man is an engineer. It doesn't matter if a man is a garbage man. These same dudes will all go home and play video games and put together anime figurines and read comic books or go fishing or be happy just feeding their pets or mowing grass. It's so amazing how we are so simple as men. It doesn't matter what our professions are. You have Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and after he's done running the country, this guy will then go watch WWE, go wrestle in a ring with Hulk Hogan, throw down with Vince McMahon. It's insane. Like this is, and his favorite meals. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, but his favorite meals are is like fast food, KFC and McDonald's and Diet Coke. This is this is men. We are such simple creatures. But women, on the other hand, they're miserable. They're absolutely miserable. They were putting down Henry Cavill because they're like, oh, he's like a little boy. He likes to read comic books and build computers. Henry Cavill likes comics, science fiction, and he likes to build computers. So evidently, Henry Cavill is in charge of the Warhammer universe right now. That's going to be made into different shows at Amazon. They're going to be producing a Warhammer series based around the Warhammer games or whatever, and are the video games. And he's evidently going to be the architect for this, and I believe he's also going to be starring in the show. And here's the crazy thing. I think he's starring the show, but I know he's in charge of the universe. And here's the crazy thing. The same actresses that are putting him down and shaming him for his interest would love to play a role in these television shows that he's going to be producing. Do you not see how ridiculous it is? Imagine someone shaming Stephen King for writing, for the books that he writes and the kinds of books that he enjoys reading, but then saying that he's a terrible person because he's not interested in women like them who are all into romance and all of this stuff, but they want they want opportunities from him. These modern women don't have any comprehension of reality. It's literally about makeup. It's about showing off to other women. The average woman is extremely boring. They have modern women. They have no personality. They have nothing to talk about. It's literally just keeping up with the Kardashians, or just the Kardashians now because they moved to, I think, Hulu because they wanted more money, and whatever mind rot is on social media, specifically TikTok. That's modern women for you. They can't have a conversation, and they have nothing of value to actually talk about. And the goal is just to extract wealth and resources from us as men. But guess what? Now they're on social media saying that they want get you a provider, man. Don't get any of these broke boys. Guys, they're desperate. Hard times are here. If you have men who are struggling financially, what do you think women are doing? Men pay 80% of all taxes. Women make 80% of all consumer purchases. They're not getting out of it this time. Project 2025 is happening. We all see what Elon is doing. We saw what he did at Twitter. We see it. We know exactly what he's going to be doing at the government. He is going to shut anything that is not vital. He is going to shut it down. We're going to, by the grace of God, we're going to have a very lean system. All of these charities and all of these scheming programs that women get money from, they're going to be shut down. A lot of these charities, like the Susan B. Foundation and all this for cancer research, guys, a lot of these things are going to get shut down and lose their nonprofit status when people discover that these were nothing more than vast money laundering operations where the money was being mismanaged. All of these nonprofits are going to have to start, that's what I suspect, start showing how this money was spent. And this is Elon. And when, for example, Black Lives Matter took a bunch of money and used it to buy mansions. And this actually was allowed under the Biden administration. That is not a charity. That is a money laundering scheme. You look at USAID, it's a money laundering scheme. So these people are now going to be facing a lot of investigations. A lot of that money is going to be cut off, and modern women are going to be between a rock and a hard place. The economy the floorboard is going to fall out, the markets are going to crash, and people are going to lose access to their money because the banks are running a scam. They don't have money like that. People are going to go to the ATMs and they're not going to be able to get out more than $100. And that's after the ATMs start working again, because they're gonna shut everything down, y'all. They're gonna shut it down. You're not gonna be able to go, guys. The ATMs are gonna stop working when things start when the floor falls out. The banks are gonna chain up the doors, and the only way you're going to be able to safeguard wealth and access your funds is going to be through crypto. And Angry's Crypto Academy is going to teach you. It teaches you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. And we also tell you exactly which coins to invest in, so that you know which coins are going to mint you millionaires, and how to spot potential coins to invest in. So don't miss out. The Academy is linked in the description of the video. We have a massive sale going on there right now. Everything is 75% off for Super Bowl 2025. You know, so today's the last day. You only have a couple of hours left if you want to take advantage of that. So you can actually head over there. You click on any of the links in the description of the video to go over to the Academy, take advantage of the 75% off sale. Because guys, we're heading for hell in a handbasket right now. And women did this. They said that we don't want you guys, we want the bear, and now they're going to have to go and hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo in the woods.
I can truly have a deep conversation.
姐妹们，我从来没有想过我会嫁不出去。
Sisters in my life, I never thought I would reach the point of being unable to marry. However, at the age of 40, I still haven't found the right partner. What surprised me even more is that, once a woman surpasses the age of 30, she will be labeled as a leftover woman, and often mocked as a woman that nobody wants. In fact, I never realized the seriousness of this issue until I slowly entered this age, and only then did I truly feel the heavy pressure that this label brings. Especially when I see that not only do older single men look down on us leftover women, but more and more young men also begin to despise women like us. I can understand their thinking, as men's mindsets tend to remain stuck in their younger years. They always prefer those youthful, energetic young girls.
Guys, why would a man want someone who is older, miserable, has had their hearts broken a lot of times, and is just going to bring negative energy into their lives? Why would anyone want that? They want someone who is youthful. They want someone with vitality. Men have to work their entire lives just so that some woman will say yes to them. Okay? Men have to work 40, 50 years of their lives so that they can find a woman who will allow them to enjoy the things that they did not get to enjoy when they were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s. And modern women take it completely for granted because they are born millionaires. They get everything up front. All of these women flying around on private jets, being taken out to expensive dinners, going into, and riding around in Lamborghinis, drinking $1,000 bottles of wine. The average man will never experience those things in their lives. And modern women don't care. They don't like us. They only see us as ATMs. They only want our attention. They only want our time. They only want our money. They don't actually want us. It's only about what we can do for them, what we can give to them, what they can extract from us. They can like how we can look. They can like the things that we can do for them. They can like qualities that we have. They can even say like that we're funny, but they will never like us for us. Okay. If you're a man and you're in a relationship with a woman and she's going to make you wait months and months and months for physical intimacy while Chad and Tyrone get it up front, the truth is that you're basically her plan B guy and she's just taking advantage of you. This is why the Filipinos, they're smarter about it. They know right off the bat, if they find a guy that they want, they're going to jump on it. They're going to make sure to feed him and F him. All right, make sure his belly is full, his balls are empty. Okay, I remember MK Fitness said this on his stream. He goes, "My belly is full and my balls are empty." It's a sad reality. It's a sad reality when a man has to say these things, and you feel sorry for these men because it's like we're such simple creatures. Women treat us so poorly in society and then mock us. When the reason why men get sicker than women do is because we're always in go mode. We don't take time to rest. Guys, we basically keep on working harder and harder and harder. We take off fewer sick days than women, significantly fewer sick days than women, and women attack us for this. All right? We get the job done. We push through the hard times. We keep on going, and then our bodies get worn down to a point where we now need a lot of rest because our immune systems have gone down. And when that happens, they call us babies. They say that you are man babies. The fact of the matter is that if a woman basically feels any little thing, she's taking a personal day. So her body is constantly in a state of rest. For a man, our body is constantly in a state of fight or flight. And we're constantly fighting. We're constantly fighting because we can't run away. We have to fight or else we will not survive. No one's coming to save us. No one's going to bail us out. Don't get me wrong. There's some men out there who are the simps and they've had relatively easy lives. But eventually everyone gets caught up. Everyone gets theirs, mostly. All right, there are some people who go through life and they never get what they are supposed to get, or they never learn their lessons. And you really can't do much about those people. But the average man will eventually, it will pay. He will basically face consequences for decisions he's made. The Sims, like guys like Destiny, you can see what's happening in his life, and he will never learn his lesson. Sometimes he tries to change it up and starts to spit red pill things, but he's not one of us. He is a person who basically will always have blue pill philosophy ingrained within him, and he will always spread blue pill philosophy. And it's because of people like him that continue to tell women that they can do whatever the heck they want to and face no consequences. Why modern women are going to be facing extraordinary hardships going forward. Why modern women are going to be facing a society that no longer believes them with things like believe all women without evidence, without proof. And this is, look at what it did. It scorched the earth. M2 scorched the earth. And don't forget all the other stuff that came before M2. K all men, delete all men, give your money to women, all of this garbage, social media feminism. Look at what happened to the Duke lacrosse kids. That happened almost 20 years ago. This woman is now still in prison for trying to control, alt, delete someone. I don't know if she was successful at it. She may have been. She may have actually been successful. And she admitted recently that she lied about it. Those young men, their lives were destroyed. What about Jackie? All right, the whole Rolling Stones girl who made up an entire story about some guys at a frat house, and it turned out like there was no due diligence. They just believed her. The person who wrote the story believed this woman who fabricated this entire story because she was looking for external validation and attention. And there was no form of journalistic integrity, no due diligence. The young men were punished for the incident. The frat house was suspended, and their lives were destroyed. And of course, there were no apologies given to them. And what ended up happening as a result of Jackie is there were new policies enforced on campus, and men were punished and demonized, and they used it as a learning moment. There were no consequences for what she did and for fabricating that. Instead, they used it as a means of saying that she actually did a great thing because she basically ended up shining light onto issues that needed to be addressed. Forget about the fact that she was a complete and utter liar. And of course, we know the whole and they'll say that, well, it's not necessarily that she lied. It's it's just that that was her truth. She may not be a perfect victim, but she's still a victim because all women are victims. All women are powerful victims, and all men are pathetic villains. That's the society that we live in, a society that demonizes men for simply being men and praises women for simply being women.
Who would want women like us who have seen through life, experienced so much, and no longer have many illusions and expectations? Therefore, I gradually understand that, as a woman already in her 40s, I must face reality and accept the possibility of being alone for the rest of my life.
So basically, she's here trying to say that the reason why we don't want to be in a relationship with a woman like her is because we are little boys who still have not matured properly yet. And, we're looking for a mommy. We're looking for a woman who's going to basically do everything that we say and submit to, and that's going to submit to us and that we can manipulate and take advantage of. Because if we had a mature woman, she would try to get what she's supposed to get out of a relationship and hold us accountable. Do you see, guys? Modern women cannot comprehend why men don't want to be in relationships with them. Guys, they have completely changed. They know nothing about femininity. These are masculines. They are not designed for a relationship. And the irony is that now they're grieving now because many of them are beginning to kind of realize I'm heading into my 50s now. I'm heading into my 40s or my 50s, or in the case of some Gen X women, into their 60s. They have no one. Their parents are beginning to pass away. Sometimes both of their parents have passed away because their parents had them later in life, and now they're all alone. And what are they going to do? They have no one to take care of them, no one to help them. They're heading into the worst economic period ever for women because the state will not be, guys, it's over. The country is broke. All right. We're heading to hell in a handbasket with inflation just going up more and more and more. I'll tell you guys something that happened to me recently. I wanted to buy, I have not had fast food in many, many months. Like I stopped eating fast food entirely. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can just try just this one time. I'm going to go and treat myself, going to have something, going to buy myself some McDonald's. It's going to be awesome, or Burger King, whatever. So I decided that I'm going to go into the app and look at, like, maybe a cheeseburger, or a double cheeseburger, or a Whopper. For a Whopper, it was like over $10 for a Whopper in the app. Okay? Over $10 for just a Whopper. I looked at it and I was like, hell no. I looked at McDonald's and the prices have gone up. I'm like, no one in their right mind is going to pay $7 or $8 for a double cheeseburger. Who the hell is buying this food at this point? These things used to be $1. These things used to be a 99 cents, 10 years ago, or a little over 10 years ago. They were 99 cents, and now it's $7, $8 for like a double cheeseburger, over $10 for a Whopper. Like, these things used to be like $3-4. No one can afford this garbage anymore. I make great money. I make incredible money, guys. I'm doing great financially. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, even someone in my position that makes this amount of money is not going to spend that kind of money, because I look at it like this. I'm going to spend, just to be fed. I'm going to spend what, 20, $30 or more just to buy this food and have it delivered to me. It's going to be more than $20 with the delivery, a drink, and all that stuff. So I'm going to spend more than 30. I'm going to spend 30 to $40 for a tiny amount of food, and that's money that I could use to purchase a brand new game. I can purchase a brand new game on Steam, off multiple games even on Steam, multiple games, because I know how to purchase games dirt cheap. I can purchase multiple games with that. Or I can purchase a brand new game for my Nintendo Switch, because I like buying physical games. I buy a lot of games from Woot, right? I can buy a brand new game. That's a brand new game. Or that's crypto. That's an investment in a cryptocurrency, like some cryptocurrency that might be a scam, but it might not be a scam. Or even some that aren't. Something that can make me a lot of money. It doesn't, guys. It's that money. I can buy something tangible with it. Why the hell am I going to spend that money on McDonald's, or for like two, 3 burgers, not even 3 burgers, and forget about the drink? I don't know who the hell is buying this stuff anymore. Modern women can't survive. There's no way modern women can survive in this. And many of you guys will not be able to survive either unless you start learning about crypto. We actually have a major sale going. Like I said, 75% off right now over in the Academy. This is the largest sale we've ever had. So, if you want to begin learning about crypto, that's something you can do. Ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The links in the description Go check it out now.
Leftover women must be clear about the environment and situation they are in, and be mentally prepared for the possibility of growing old alone. After all, there are some things in life that we cannot control.
我今年38岁了，很多人说我老阿姨、老女人、老太太。
I am 38 years old this year. People around me often call me old aunt, old woman, or even old lady, saying that I am doomed to never get married. To be honest, I really feel bad when I hear these comments. It feels like everyone is harshly putting me down. But today, I want to sit down and talk with you about the main reasons why I became what's known as a leftover woman. In fact, many women now envy my life, and this is not bragging. I own 2 properties and have my own car. If you ask me how life is going, I can honestly say that I haven't pursued wealth or fame. As an ordinary person, I don't have to worry about my daily expenses. In the earlier years, I didn't have the financial situation I have now. At that time, my wish was simple. If I could earn 10,000 yuan a month, I'd be happy enough to pay the mortgage and the insurance. At that stage, my requirements for a partner weren't high. I thought if he could earn about 10,000 to 15,000 yuan a month, that would be good. After all, my own ability was limited, so I didn't have many picky requirements. However, when my monthly income later exceeded 100,000 yuan, my standards gradually started to rise. At that point, when looking at men, it wasn't just about their character and abilities. I would even dismiss them over small issues. I became particularly picky, magnifying others' flaws while ignoring my own shortcomings. As my income further increased, my horizons also expanded, and my attitude became somewhat arrogant. I once had a boyfriend who was worth millions, but I didn't hesitate to break up with him. Later, when I looked back at the path I had walked, I re-evaluated myself. I realized that I had worked so hard, and now I feel quite resentful, always thinking I could meet someone better. However, as time passed, I found that those men who were better off than me would never choose me. They often prefer younger girls, which is an undeniable fact. As for me, I unconsciously lost the delicate, tender side of myself, and when dealing with problems, I became more direct, rarely displaying a soft and charming demeanor. So, what was the result of my hard work and pursuit of independence? It was becoming someone no one could rely on or care about. Now, my sense of happiness seems to have turned into emptiness, because there are no longer any men who want to marry me. This is the journey I've gone through to become what's called a leftover woman. I really feel very sad, and my heart feels empty. I don't even know how to express it. Actually, I really want to cry, but it seems like I can't, even though I feel so down inside. It's just that every time I say something like I want to find a partner, someone starts contacting me. I really understand their feelings, and I also think that if I meet the right person, trying to date might not be a bad idea. However, one day, a person added my contact information and told me he was 50 years old. At that moment, I thought to myself, he's 50, yet he's telling me he likes me? He must be really handsome or wealthy. Then he sent me his photo, and in that instant, I felt insulted. It was like a humiliation, a huge blow. How could something so disgusting happen? I just thought, am I really that bad? Even though I am already 35 years old, I feel like I look 28, and I've taken good care of myself.
These women are far into their masculine, and they believe that they were always going to get their way. They think that the fact that that men don't want women their age is because of society, and society has conditioned men to not want older women, and it's a form of ageism. When the reality is that men want a woman who is fit, feminine, and friendly. See, this doesn't. When it comes to women, they don't care what men want. It's basically based around how their feelings operate, and they believe that they're supposed to get whatever they want, and that's it. Period. All right. They don't care about anyone else but themselves. So of course they could care less about men. And this is why so many of them are going to be facing extraordinary states of poverty, destitution, and hardship going forward.
But he was 50, and when I saw his photo, he looked like he was 70. I really felt insulted and uncomfortable, feeling that I shouldn't have to endure such humiliation and discrimination. He also told me that he spends half of the year at home and the other half working outside. When I heard that, I just thought, what does that have to do with me? It really made me angry. If someone genuinely wants to find a partner, they should look at my requirements and standards for dating, instead of doing these unreliable things. It really annoyed me. When I'm angry, I can't help but curse.
为什么三
They believe that they are goddesses. They believe that they are God's gift to humanity and God put them here to be worshipped. And I said this already and I'll say it again. Women like this, God allowed them to reach the highest to reach the highest mountains so that they could fall from the highest peaks. And when they finally return back to the ground, they are going to discover a much different world than they were expecting. Women think that everything and anything should be given to them because they are simply women. They don't realize that all of it is manufactured by the state. They don't realize that feminism was just used to control men so that they can push socialism. They don't understand that society does not actually care about them as much as they think. The state doesn't care about them at all. They were just used as puppets for the state. And even those that may finally come to that conclusion so at some point will then say that they deserve compensation from the state and from society because they were just used by society to push a specific agenda without taking any accountability for the fact that they were fine with receiving special privileges while men were given special punishments. But now that the gravy train has run out, the floor has fallen out, and they have to face consequences for the decisions that they've made, they don't want to, because women expect to be bailed out of every bad decision that they ever make. And to be fair, they are usually bailed out of every bad decision that they ever make. But this time it's not happening. And because it's not happening this time, now they are furious. Now they are panicking, and they're looking for any way and every way to have men pick up the tab because the rent is due. And that's just not going to happen. The simp economy is beginning to collapse. The simp economy in China has collapsed. The simp economy in the United States is collapsing. Women think that they can go on OnlyFools and LonelyFans, and busted wide open for $3.99 a month, and then go around acting like they're high value women. What they don't comprehend is that no one wants to make you their wife. No one wants to make you a mother. No one wants to be in a relationship with you. And you have women who are crying on the internet when they discover that, when the men that they like discover that they're on OnlyFools or LonelyFans, and now they're like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And it's like, they're like, we need to teach boys. We need to teach boys that you shouldn't treat women poorly, and that's her profession. That's not her life, and blah 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 blah. They don't, guys. This is how far gone they are. Companies will not hire you if you have a past working on OnlyFools, LonelyFans. All right, the State Department does not want to hire you if you were on OnlyFools and LonelyFans. All right, it'll be almost impossible to get a job as a federal employee if you are on OnlyFools and LonelyFans, not just because of the content that you are creating and distributing, but the fact that that platform is highly associated with the production of content that is not good. And often, when I say not good, is producing content that is of people who may not be of age. Right now, the U.S. government has been trying to shut down OnlyFools and LonelyFans for years now. Okay, it's been under investigation by the Department of Justice for many years right now. There was a bipartisan effort like 3 or 4 years ago to have the damn platform shut down, and the DOJ is not commenting on it. But what we do know is that the Department of Justice and the criminal division of the IRS has been working to take down OnlyFools creators and the platform in and of itself. Okay. So these women don't realize that their time is running out when it comes to these platforms, especially with Project 2025 coming. I don't think Project 2025 is going to completely ban adult content, but it's going to make it much more difficult for everyone and anyone to access it. There are some of you jokers who are like, well, children, they shouldn't ban children from the internet from being actually able to access this content because that's censorship. It's thinly veiled, taking our rights away. Guys, these men are completely full of it. They're absolutely full of it. We need a system in place that protects young people from this kind of content. It just destroyed the lives of so many young people. So there's no reason to allow this content to continue to operate the way that it does. There needs to be better protections put into place, and we can do that without completely censoring the entire internet. Okay? So a lot of modern women, they're going to find that their gravy train is coming to an end right now. And then if you have like platforms like YouTube, where like you're scrolling through YouTube Shorts, or TikTok, the things on these platforms, I would argue, like a lot of these videos are worse than even some of the stuff on the hub, because it's basically designed to constantly give you short bursts of dopamine hits over and over and over of girls, dancing around in scantily outfits to keep your attention. Like this, like you don't see stuff like this even on the hub. It's basically like, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and then you're done. But this is like, it's just continually giving you bursts of like one woman after another woman doing dances and provocative dances at that. And it's never ending. It's really, really never ending. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if we saw something done where even this content begins to get, suppressed on these platforms, because it's I believe that it's very much another form of adult content that's basically, designed to bypass any form of censorship, and I know a lot of you guys are like angry you're wrong for this. No, I'm absolutely right. I don't care what you think.
Recently, I've been thinking about why women like me, who are 35 years old, economically free and independent, are still labeled as older single women. Not long ago, I happened to watch a video by a blogger who attended a matchmaking event at a park, which really struck a chord with me. First, I didn't think much of it, but I decided to attend a matchmaking event myself, made a sign, and thought maybe I could meet someone suitable. However, when I got there, I didn't receive the understanding and respect I was hoping for. Instead, I was met with insults and criticism. People started calling me old and saying I couldn't have children. After I posted the video of the matchmaking event online, the comments felt like a mocking talk show. Some said I must be involved in improper work to make that much money. Others criticized me for having unrealistic standards. I could understand their views, but the things they said really upset me. What was even worse was when some people accused me of lying, even saying that I couldn't have children, which made me extremely angry. I have a legitimate job. Why am I the target of such malicious comments? My standards aren't high, they're the same as most other women's. A man with a car, a house, over 1.8 meters tall, and average or above average looks. I really think these requirements are normal. I'm in
666, 666, y'all. All right, must make at least six figures or above. Must be at least 6 feet tall or almost 6 feet tall. Must have a six pack. Must deliver 6 inches. And I think that these things are absolutely reasonable. At 35 years old, where getting pregnant is considered a geriatric pregnancy. This is the kind of stuff that these modern women are putting out there. And guys, it's basically living in a state of continuous delusion and refusing to accept anything that resembles reality.
good health and get annual health checkups, so there's no issue there. But now, at this age, like many women my age, all the effort and growth I've put in seems to have earned me the older single woman label. People say no one wants us or advise us to live alone. Looking back, in my 20s, I focused on entrepreneurship, and at that time I really didn't have time for dating. But today, I have the right to pursue love. Why shouldn't I? The reason we are called older single women is that we prioritized personal growth and self-worth in our younger years, rather than just treating marriage and childbearing as the only goals. And these biases are just too much. This age, finding a suitable partner is really important to me. I definitely can't settle for a bad man because, after all, we're talking about spending a lifetime together. Some people even DM me, telling me I might as well not bother, that it's fine to live alone for the rest of my life. I reply, well, what if I find a younger man? Then they say that I'm old enough to be his mother. Actually, people should focus more on the older single women group, show less bias and more understanding and care.
So basically what you have Gen Zers doing is you have them engaging in a practice called hag maxing. Hag maxing is where they'll go around and they'll run around with these older women in their 50s and so forth, or 30s. So you have an 18-year-old Gen Zer or a 20-year-old Gen Zer hooking up with a 50, 40, or even 35-year-old woman. And the older woman believes that she is of high value because she's able to get younger men, but it is considerably harder for a younger man or men in general just to gain access to physical intimacy compared to a woman. But they believe that the higher their body count, the more valuable they are, like notches in a belt, because they're in their masculine energy. This is the reason why they are grieving so hard right now, guys, because they cannot comprehend what they have done. And no matter what anyone says to them, they don't care. They will continue to go down this path and stay buried in their their disillusion, in in their delusional thinking.
We haven't done anything wrong. We're just making the choices we think are best for our lives.
我觉得找个结婚对象比找外星人都难。
Sometimes I feel that finding a suitable marriage partner is harder than finding an alien. What if I never get married in my life? I'm already 37 years old, or rather close to 38. In fact, ever since I turned 30, I stopped really keeping track of my exact age, and I don't care much about the passage of time anymore.
Doesn't care really about the passage of time anymore, but the rent is due and she needs someone to help cover the bills, which is one of the reasons why, guys, you should be focusing on getting your money through crypto, not on getting into relationships or dating women who don't even like you or want you. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now.
Estimate I'm about 37 years old, at least by my actual age, which would be 37. But some netizens say I look like I'm already 39, or even 40. Some even think I look like a 50-year-old person. Based on my biological age, I guess I could round up and just say I'm 40 now. Let's assume I get married and have children when I'm 40. By the time I'm 60, my child will already be 20. If I choose to marry a 50-year-old man, then when my child is 20, I will be 60, and he will be 70. If our child gets married later like I did, oh no, my child will definitely not marry late. Let's say they get married at 35. By then, I will be 75. At that time, how old will my partner be? He will probably be 85. And by then, I'll be walking with a cane, and he'll be sitting in a wheelchair. I'll probably have to push him to the market, and even to our child's wedding. Although by that time, he might be drooling. We'll both be wearing handkerchiefs on our chests. I'll push him along, and I might even need to carry a pack of adult diapers because at that age, diapers might be a necessity.
You know what's funny? She's laughing about this, but the reality is that a 50-year-old man doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone this old. Why would a 50-year-old man that's worked his entire life so that he can find a woman who will be there for him, who will basically allow him to have children, you know, go and find a woman who's much old, a woman this age? No, he's going to look for a woman in the Philippines. He's going to look for a woman who's 25 in the Philippines or younger, and this woman will be more than happy to have him. You know, he stays in shape, he works out, he's an older father, they have children, he gives her a reasonably, relatively comfortable life, and, you know, that's it. That's the honest to goodness truth. Versus modern women who they wanted the world, and now basically they're going to end up with nothing at all. You know, God allowed, guys, think about this. God allowed them to stand from the peak of the highest mountain. The devil stood there with them and said that I will give you the world if you go down this path. And now, you know, they thought that they were the gods of this world. Don't think that I read something like God, like Satan is the god of the world. God is the god of this world, but basically Satan is running wild on this earth. And look at what modern women did. They basically chose to go down the path of pleasure, the path of greed, the path of the Luciferian path, and now this is the situation we're in. The Sims, modern women, they basically embrace the Jezebel spirit, and now they are going to face the consequences for choosing said spirit, and they don't want to face those consequences. But you know, the longer that you wait and you try to avoid reality, the worse that things are going to be. It's like, you know, putting off your taxes. The longer you wait and the more you put them off, the more penalties you're going to face and the harder it's going to be to deal with it later on. And women don't understand the concept of compound interest. All of the bad that they've done, all of the everything, it's going to be compounded for the last 50 or 60 years. And they're going to say, well, I shouldn't, it's not my fault. I didn't do this. They're going to blame everyone but themselves. But it doesn't matter, guys. When Satan comes to collect, and they're going to have to pay. They basically sold their souls. And now they don't want to pay, for pleasure, for greed, for money, for wealth. And they never thought it was going to run out. They got their reward. And now they're basically going to get their punishment, and they don't like it one bit. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. 100 million leftover women are grieving as most men avoid and reject them. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, and walking away and share.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.